Welcome to the Rotoscopers YouTube. My name is Chelsea Robson, and I am going to be doing a classic art book review. Today it's going to be about Warner Brothers animation art, the characters, the creators, and the limited editions. Once again, I'd like to thank Jessica Kruger for letting me borrow this hefty book. It's pretty awesome, too. As I was flipping through it, I had never heard of this book. It's never been something that was on my radar at all. Honestly, Warner Brothers, even though it is such a staple of my childhood and so many others, I just didn't know very much about it. And so, or at least I thought I knew about it, but until I read this book, I knew I really didn't know anything. But that's why I'm showing it to you. In the early days of animation, they didn't save anything. No concept art, no cells. Everything was either wiped clean or thrown away. And for the animation lover, that's like getting a hit to the gut. This is not good. In 1977, though, Chuck Jones was talking to a reporter about this terrible fact, and they were both really sad about it. But it came out of that conversation, the idea that he would go in and create limited edition cells to then be sold to art collectors. So he got licensing, and the rest is history. Over time, some of the other 7 WB masters, as I like to call them, they ended up getting their own limited edition cells as well. And that's what this book really does. I mean, most of it is just chronicling all of the different limited edition art that came out of that time period. But not only that, it goes in and gives so much information of the history of Warner Brothers animation and just of Warner Brothers in general. So you do get not only the specific animation side, but you get the broad side as well, which is something that I really enjoyed. It's not something that I was really very familiar with, so that was really beneficial in my opinion. If you don't feel like you know much about Tex Avery or Bob Clampett or Chuck Jones, this is definitely going to be the book that's going to help you get a lot more information as well as the art going with it. It goes in, and each section has one of 7 different masters that really helped shape Warner Brothers animation and in turn helped shape animation in general. I mean, a lot of these guys, they don't get the same amount of clout as Disney's 9 Old Men. I think mostly just because the marketing, they didn't have a catchy name like that in order to really kind of group them together. But they were all pretty separate, but they all worked on the same company. But it was so great to get in and notice who these guys were. In a lot of cases, on an individual level, they made more of an impact on the animation world than most of the 9 Old Men. After reading this book, I feel like Warner Brothers really doesn't get the credit it deserves. I mean, Disney was so fundamental in creating a feature film animation, need. But WB definitely had the small screen, aka TV, that market cornered. I mean, what kid who grew up in the 70s doesn't remember Saturday morning cartoons where you get to see Wile E. Coyote almost, tear the Roadrunner to smithereens, but instead he just tears himself to the smithereens. Or how about if you're, grew up in the mid to late 80s, you totally remember coming home to WB Afternoon and seeing Animaniacs, Pinky and the Brain, Batman and Robin, Batman and Superman. Like, all of these were standards. I mean, come on. Space Jam. Need I say more? I enjoyed flipping through this, and I enjoyed learning everything that there was to learn about not only the characters, but also, the time period and the people that created them. That's such a treat, really. So definitely, I give this book 4 stars. It's definitely one that as over the years, if you pick it up, you're going to be like, I'm going to flip through these and see all of my favorite characters. But also, if your kids, I mean, come on, let's be honest. At some point in time, it's going to come that the children of the animation addicts of my generation are going to grow up having no idea what you're talking about when you hear the words, "Hello, nurse." Beep, beep. Definitely check out this fantastic book. You're going to love it. I mean, it's hefty. It's a big one. It's a big one. If you are interested in purchasing this book, just go to rotoscopers.com/WB Animation Art, and you'll be able to find the link to that on Amazon. You can also add a BD on the end, and you can go to Book Depository. Until next time, my name is Chelsea Robson, and you are watching the Rotoscopers YouTube.